How you doing, guys? Eric from worldwasteland.com. Sorry if the quality on this video is a little lower than usual. I didn't have my real camera set up, so I'm just using the webcam to put a quick video out because I saw a very interesting article that is an intersection of a few different things that I've been talking about. And that is this article, I believe I saw it on Twitter. It was originally from Breitbart. Leftist pledge to load up on supplies before Biden leaves office. Buy nothing for the next 4 years to tank the Trump economy. So we have a couple things. I was talking about that there is a lot of people in the liberal side of things, the Democratic side of things, probably in the machine, that I suspected would try to dump off this horrible economy that's been very papered over, lots of fake data and just rotten to the core, lots of lies in terms of reporting. We saw that with the jobs numbers always being adjusted and everything like that, the inflation numbers being bogus, that I suspected that they would finally, take this opportunity to jump in Trump's lap, because it's very unlikely, in my opinion, that we'll get through the next 4 or 5 years without significant issues anyways. So that you definitely see that mindset coming in, that they're actively trying, even though this is probably more regular people, that they're actively trying to make bad things happen to the country just to hurt Trump. But also the idea that this is basically prepping. And I think it would unironically, or maybe ironically, end up being one of the smartest, most intelligent things that these idiots could do, is just to buy everything now that you're going to need for the next 4 years. That's what I've been preaching on this channel for years, especially since we've entered this really dramatic inflationary cycle that I don't even think is the true melt up yet. But buying as much as you can, like Trump, and I've said this for months, I've said it in my last video right before the election, is that Trump is not going to fix, he cannot fix really, the dollar, the debt situation. He could do everything right, and there's still so much to unwind that we're going to have to deal with some pretty severe unwinding, to put it mildly. And we know from his first term, just as we know that he's not a Nazi, that he's not crazy, that he's not a warmonger, we also know that he is very likely to spin up the debt immensely. He was the most, up till that point, only beaten by Biden, and he's almost certainly going to beat that record just because of the nature of the government and all the talk of cutting government spending. If they're even able to do it, it's fantastic. We need to do it. It's obviously going to happen at one point by hook or by crook, by necessity, desperation, whatever. Hopefully we can do it before they get desperate enough that they have to do it. But you could cut every single government bureaucratic job, every department, and it wouldn't fix the situation, because the vast majority of it is non-discretionary spending in Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, welfare, all that stuff, and the interest payments on the debt, which something like 15 trillion has to roll over in the next few years, meaning they have to borrow money again at higher interest rates because the terms of those treasuries are expiring at historically low rates. So now they have to sell more treasuries at the current rate, and everyone is wondering why Powell would lower rates when everything's supposedly so good. And that's the main reason, is that they can't have rates be any higher when $15 trillion has to roll over, because it's going to be catastrophic even as is. They're going to add, hundreds of billions of dollars to the federal budget every year that gives us nothing back. We get zero out of it. Is as much of a waste as it is to send to Ukraine or to any of these other stupid things, testing to see if chickens are cocaine or horny on cocaine or whatever all these government programs are. It's literally less helpful to have it go to interest payments on the debt. The Constitution gives the government the authority, actually the duty, to coin the nation's money out of gold and silver, to make money, and yet we borrow it with interest attached from a consortium of private banks. Absolute treasonous activity, in my opinion. Andrew Jackson is spinning in his grave so fast we could probably generate all the electricity we need for this country. But the idea of buying supplies to tank the Trump economy might low-key be the best thing that they've ever done and actually set them up to be pretty, much more prepared than they would have otherwise been for these upcoming economic, tribulations that I'm convinced we're going to go through, whether it's in 6 weeks or 6 years or whatever. And like I said, I think there's going to be a lot of forces that will know that it's happening, know it's inevitable, and will be itching to make sure it happens on Trump's watch so they can try and take over in 2028. So whether you're doing it because I told you to, because the Lord came to you in a dream, or because you just want to hurt Trump, it is a good idea to buy as much of the stuff that you're going to use over the next 4 years now at these prices. We might see some prices come down on stuff. We saw a little bit of flutter in gold and silver, but like I said, Trump is going to be very inflationary. He is not going to have fiscal policies and economic policies that reduce the amount of dollars in existence. He is going to be doing things that are probably good for the economy in general, reshoring manufacturing, making it a better environment for businesses, getting rid of some regulation, getting rid of a lot of this waste in the government. But that's not necessarily the same issue as the debt and as the dollar, which there is really nothing you can do at this point. If you were to do all the right things, then we have to slash the government to catastrophically low levels of spending compared to where it is now. Catastrophic in the sense that it cuts so much that GDP plummets, tax revenues plummet. There's a lot of people who are supposedly need this stuff, whether that's food or medical care or rent assistance or Social Security. All the people that are in the military now all over the world that would have to be put out of a job, all that stuff. So the economy would have to contract to a near catastrophic level. We would have to go through some kind of Great Depression, and that's doing the right things for long term for the country. And we know that not everything is going to be done right. So we can count on currency melt up, just like it's happened with every other debt-based BS currency that has ever existed. Batting 1,000, there is zero reason why this time will be any different. And so if you want to have Trump hatred, Trump derangement syndrome being what drives you to prep for 4 years, you're not going to get any complaints from me. I think that's one of the best possible things you can do. Let me know what you guys think, and if these losers will even be able to get to 4 years of preps, because as I know, not being anywhere close to that, that's pretty significant ask, but it's not a bad idea, that's for sure. Thanks for watching.